Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tēnā koe, i te whare, tēnā koutou katoa. I rise to take a short call for the Crimes Match Fixing Amendment Bill. The Greens will be supporting this bill, of course we will, because we believe that there should be regulation to prohibit international crime syndicates from operating in New Zealand, and we agree that it should be illegal to influence a betting outcome or improperly manipulate a sporting match or a race. But I'd like to note that this is the fourth bill in this term that does protect and advantage the betting industry. They're obviously very good friends of the government. So just to recap, we've had the Gambling Harm Reduction Amendment Bill. That was Te Ororo Flavo's failed attempt to reduce harm from pokies, and that's the one that galvanised the pokie industry, and the Select Committee received 30,000 or so submissions from community organisations that had been whipped into a frenzy by their Pokie Trust funders. We've also had the Gambling Bill number 2, which is in the name of the Honourable Peter Dunn, that's been on the books since 2007, which hasn't been heard yet, but it's on the order paper. There's also the Gambling Bill number 3, which is yet to be heard, but it's scheduled for December this year. And this puts in place some of the regulation that was talked about in the harm reduction bill that Te Ororo Flavo put to the House. And it has the laudable aim of focusing on Class 4 gambling, that's pokies in pubs and clubs, and it says it is to increase transparency of grant making, improve transparency around management companies, simplify compliance and reduce costs for societies and venue owners, and ensure the efficiency of the appeals process is not undermined. So this is the one which says that pokie venues could be paid a percentage of the pokie takings, which really sets up the pubs and the clubs to incentivise problem gambling, because that way they'd make more money. And who can forget last year's we had the Honourable Stephen Joyce's New Zealand International Convention Centre Act, and its stated purpose was to give effect to an agreement between Sky City Entertainment Group Limited and the Crown, and the agreement that they referred to was that in exchange for a $402 million convention centre, Sky City would get increases in gambling opportunities, and they would also have a new system called Ticken In, Ticken Out, which is a method of gambling that increases the opportunity for money laundering. And this brings us back to today's bill, which is about, of course, crime. Now, the fact is, if we had of last year passed the private members bill in the name of Materia Ture, which was, again, about crime and gambling, the criminal proceeds recovery application to a casinos amendment bill, then we would have absolutely have dealt to money launderers. And this meant who absolutely love casinos, and they love the sports betting industry as well, because that's where they launder their money. But we would have been able to put a stop to the fact that money laundering does occur in casinos in New Zealand, and we would have put in place a situation where money that had been stolen or was the result of money of crime going through casinos would have had to have been paid back. And given that a lot of that money for betting, whether it's on casinos, whether it's sports betting, does come from small businesses or not-for-profit organisations that have been stolen by people with compulsive gambling habits, that money would have had to have been paid back to them. The fact is, however, that this bill that was in Materia Ture's name, which did deal just with casinos, was voted down by this government. Mr. Speaker, we Greens love New Zealand, and we think we can have a fairer society, a smarter, more diverse economy that's based on a cleaner environment. And we don't think this bill is going to deliver that. But it's clear that this government loves to gamble, and they've been gambling with our laws, they've been gambling with our economy, they've been gambling with our people and with our environment. But having said that, we'll be supporting this bill because we believe in fair play.
I call Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, irony abounds in this particular debate on the crimes match fixing